What's going on, people?
What is the deal? Long time no see.
Long time, guys. Long time. Let me try to fix this. There we go.
Wait, that's that. It's camera stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That was Drew.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Not too much.
Well, guys, it is it's that time. It's Super Bowl time, and we got a pretty packed slate here, man. We got Super Bowl, NASCAR, and talk about the NFL draft. It's never too soon, especially when your team is like the Chicago Bears. We can talk about the NFL draft. You know what I mean?
Starting like what, week 3?
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, Super Bowl, man. It's Super Bowl week. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun week, man. I love fresh blood. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are good for football, man. I love this team, and it seems like the world is betting against the Rams and wants these Bengals to do some damage, man. Come on, let's go Bengals.
I'm all in for the Bengals too. No, Drew, you don't like it. You're not gonna root for Cincinnati. Okay, all right. Just
fair enough.
Just be better, but okay. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, the Rams are a heck of a fun team too. It's you've got the upstart underdog Bengals, and then the Rams, who basically bought this team to get themselves to this point, to the Super Bowl. But it's a fun team to watch. I like watching the Rams. They're that speed. Stafford's a great quarterback, a defense that's going to fly around and really want to hurt some people. Fun on both sides there.
Yeah, I mean, I like, I'm looking at the game. I think the game now, I was looking at some of these odds, man. I think now the game line is 4, Rams -4. Now look, here's the deal. How much of that is the Rams being at home, right? So usually you get 3 for being at home. So really the Rams are giving up a point, to the Bengals. It's a pretty even team. I think it's going to be a shootout. The 48.5 has stayed for the over-under. A lot of guys are betting the under. A lot of the sharps are betting the under. I think this is going to go over easy. I really do.
I think you were saying last week you thought you were thinking under. Under still seems to me like maybe the better bet.
I think that's the sharp bet.
What's the over-under?
48.5. It opened at 50.
20. Oh, okay, all right. So it's coming down. You see it. 24-20 games, only 44. To get into 40s, someone's going to score into the 30s.
That's going to happen
in this game.
I think the Rams. I mean, look, the Bengals defense right now is in La La Land. To be honest with you, I think this week extra hurts the Bengals because of the momentum game. I think if you give Sean McVay and his staff an extra week to prepare, he's got a lot more weapons, than the Bengals do. I want the Bengals to win. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not rooting against the Bengals. I want the Bengals to win. But Sean McVay and that coaching staff and those weapons give this guy an extra week to prepare, I think is going to be I think it's going to be deadly for the Rams. I really do.
What the dagger for the Bengals is their offensive line. Are they honestly going to be able to block Aaron Donald or
Von Miller?
Von Miller. I mean, give up 9 sacks against Tennessee. I mean, they showed up last week.
Yeah.
Well, that offensive line hasn't been great for Cincinnati all year, but it's got them to the Super Bowl. It's one of those things that you can work around your deficiency. And they know that offensive line is their deficiency, but they're working around it. They gave up 9 sacks to Nashville, 10 to Tennessee, and they beat them. They hung right in there the whole game. So,
yeah, but I think that witch's brew is gone. Hey guys, hold on. We got to stop what we're doing. Stop what we're doing because we're about to ruin. We've got the man, the myth, the legend.
He made it back.
What's
up, buddy? Hey.
How you guys doing?
Talk about this
Hey,
game
what's
and
going
these
on?
boys right here, man.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Me and Drew can just take off for a little bit because this has become the Eric show tonight.
Oh man,
Oh,
let's
go.
go. Let's go. Eric Zadicki, your boys are in the Super Bowl, man. Talking about
Yeah.
it, man. Come on.
Man, I can't believe it. I've been waiting my whole life for this, dude. My whole life.
31 years since a playoff victory.
Yeah. I know. I was at that Raiders game. It was unreal. I took my dad to the game. You know, he's taken me so many games over the years, so it was pretty amazing to share that with him.
Dude, no one has seen you since this. Okay, like we've seen. Look at this.
We just left the stadium.
We've seen videos, but you've been kind of like hidden. You know, we saw some of the videos of when they actually won the game, the AFC Championship game. But man, dude, what's the town like, man? What's the buzz, man?
It's unreal. It's ready to implode, I think.
Yeah, so you guys have a
we just went to the stadium. They had a big rally. They had all the players come out. I did some video there. They had all the players come out and talk, and the coach came out and talk. They had fireworks, all kinds of stuff. There was a wave going around the stadium. I haven't seen that since the old Riverfront. It was wild.
Awesome.
There's a bunch of bars in between the Reds and Bengals stadium. It's called the Banks, and it's just packed right now. It's crazy. I'm down at a hotel just down from there.
That's
came here
awesome.
with my boys.
Realistically, man, let's talk about the game, dude. I mean, look, we were just talking about kind of like their run, man. Do you think this week actually hurts the Bengals and the momentum and stalls the momentum in this game, man? I mean, they were on a banger,
Yeah.
They go to Tennessee, they win there. They obviously hosted the Raiders. They win there. And then they go to Kansas City, which was an unbelievable upset. I think it was an upset. And now
they upset them twice in a month. So
at
what point is it not an upset?
That's true. But we were just talking about some of the deficiencies of the Bengals, man. Obviously, the offensive line's a concern.
Aaron
Donald
has been my worry.
Yeah, man. So how do you see this game playing out, bud?
Aaron Donald gets that O-line, a scary thought, but we finally got a field goal kicker who can make field goals. So I think I'm gonna stick with it. We're gonna win by a field goal. So,
wow.
But
Evan McPherson,
I think
MVP.
yeah, it's gonna be cool to see Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase matchup. That's gonna be interesting to see. But we still got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. We got some tough guys to cover. So
hey Eric, let me ask you two questions here. You haven't been on, I don't think, the show since we did our preseason picks, and you picked Cincinnati to win the East. First question: what did you see way back then that nobody else saw? Getting the local coverage. You're going to hear more and know more than we are getting from in a national aspect. And number two, something that I've said for quite a long time, and I brought it up again last week. If you take a team that is too stupid to know they're not good enough to be where they are, and they just keep on that roll, do you think Cincinnati maybe fits that bill?
Man, you know what? I watched him play last night. I knew about how he'd only improved his arm with his leg problems and everything, so for him to be better, than he was last year was a good sign. And we were finally spending some money. It's been a long time since this franchise really gone out and gone after some of those big name free agents and stuff like that. So, Richardson and, I wasn't 100% on them letting like Lawson go and stuff, but pretty much every move they made ended up being the right move. That's why not only did they win the division, but they're in the Super Bowl. And, players have stayed healthy all year. So, I don't know what everybody was seeing in Cleveland or whatever, but I never thought that, Mayfield was that good a quarterback or anything. So, I mean,
well, he'll be with the Vikings next year, man, so you won't have to worry about him.
Yeah, I'm worried about him anyway.
Exactly. And Lamar Jackson and obviously the Steelers are going to have their problems. So Oh, don't.
He is. Oh man, it's
awesome.
there's just so many people down there that really kills your
Tell him
bandwidth.
I'm doing a podcast.
There we go.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
So,
Yeah, we can.
yeah. And we lost it.
So in Baltimore's
Just-
defense, we had 33 guys on IR, so it wasn't like Cincinnati just walked away with that.
But that's the
division.
game, Drew. I mean,
I know
NFL
it is. Everybody had
that's how I
injuries
handle
and
it,
stuff
man.
like
You
that,
know,
so.
exactly. Like they stayed healthy. So you got to fire your strength coach, man.
Yeah. And no kid, or the turf manager.
Well, when we had Michelle Kim.
Yes.
Yes.
Melissa Kim, Melissa, man, I actually, I'm just going to prove it a second week in a row that I'm the worst in the ever with names.
Jermaine. All right, Eric, you wait.
Eric, we got you back, buddy.
Was he gonna steal a car?
Yep. It looks like he is.
That's what they do in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
Eric, so we were talking Coach Taylor, man. Let's talk about him and his accomplishments this year, dude. I mean, is he the Is he the coach of the year? He's got to be, man. Right?
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow should get coach of the year. Honestly, he's the one who's turned this franchise around. He's got, I think Zach Taylor's got an easy job. Really, he just has to kind of get out of the way and let these young guys do what they do.
Right.
But he's done a good job of that. I'll give him that. And the team looks well coached. They're one of the least penalized teams in the league. So give credit where credit's due.
I heard that Louisiana is second behind Cincinnati in Bengals fans coming up, man, because of all the LSU guys that you guys have on your team, man. You guys are stacked.
You're right. Yeah.
I
mean,
and
I'm fine with it. Let's keep getting those Louisiana guys. I saw an article where they were talking about how Armstead might be coming here next year. We've got the third most cap space in the league, and we got the money to go, and we obviously need offensive linemen. So that'd be cool. As many guys as we get from LSU and New Orleans, I'm fine with it.
Hey, I don't want to bring this up, man, but Drew's into this Asian New Year stuff, man. But this is the year of the tiger, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's
I know. Don't think everybody here doesn't know that.
We're not breaking news to Cincinnati, I guess.
No.
Right. But it could happen, man. I mean, so. Eric, how do you see this game literally turning out? I mean, do you think I know you said by a field goal, but is it going to be over 48.5? Is it going to be under 48.5? Is Joe Burrow going to be going off, or is Joe Mixon going to be your guy's going to lead this team?
Yeah, Mixon's been playing really well. I think he's going to have a big game. I think T. Higgins is going to have a big game with Jalen Ramsey busy with Jamar Chase. I'm looking forward to see if we get Uzomah back.
I just read that he is all doing everything possible to get himself to play in the game.
Yeah,
I believe it. He's the heart of the team. He's been a big part of their success this year. I think in the locker room, just real positive guy, and he called it all year. He called it early in the year. Said, "Why not us?" And then now that we're in the Super Bowl, they changed it to "It is us."
So I didn't get your comment on my question there earlier, Eric. Do you like? Yeah, I want to think back to the 2003 Boston Red Sox. There's some more that come to mind, but I called that team too stupid to know that they weren't good enough to be there. And no one in the world picks Cincinnati. Do you think that Cincinnati, you could call them that? And when you get a team like that, they are all just playing as one. There's no me in it. Everybody's playing for the common goal, but they don't know that they're not good enough to be in the Super Bowl.
They were 80-1. 80-1.
125-1. I was just reading.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think their talent was overlooked, really. And, I mean, I think, having really good, the way they work together and the positivity that they have, positivity in the locker room, and players like, Eli Apple stepping up, who never could do anything ever since he got drafted. Now he's playing like the first round draft pick that he was. We signed Trey Waynes to a big contract in the offseason, and he's not even a starter, So
it's all belief and
we
swagger.
got,
if you have a team that believes, you can go anywhere.
Right. They started believing. They got some big wins, and they started believing they could win. I think after they beat Kansas City, they realized, if we could beat Kansas City, we could beat anybody. So.
Did you think Joe Burrow, after the Kansas City Buffalo game, was completely disrespected, man? Because everybody was talking about Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, talking about these are the two greatest quarterbacks in the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
The AFC stacked. And then here Joe Burrow just came in the back door and said, you know what, screw both of you guys. I'm in the Super Bowl. You guys can sit on the sideline and watch me play, man. I think there's a level of cockiness and disrespect that he had, man, when the whole world was talking about two other quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
And it's a big swing for him because he was talked about as, such an amazing quarterback and all this stuff, and had the greatest college year ever and everything. And then he came to the Bengals, so you should get used to it. The Bengals players have always been disrespected. You're never going to get any respect. You got to earn it here. And
yeah.
So it's going to take a Super Bowl for him to get that respect. And if they lose that Super Bowl, then they're going to take it right back. So he needs to go take care of business.
So you were with your boys during the AFC Championship. I saw the celebration, man. Talk about the overwhelming joy and the pride that the city's having right now, man. This is like, Cincinnati. It's a tough town, man. It's a blue collar town. It's in Ohio. Right. And you go over this mountain and then you see these nothing but steel. These bridges all over the place, man. This has been so fun to watch from the outside. But the town itself is just, it's got to be like United, man. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, it's
no
really
one's a stranger right now, right?
Yeah. No, it's I was at that the wild card game against the Raiders. I got to see 70,000 people just hugging each other like they're long lost friends. Everybody is your brother and your sister, and I've never saw a fight or an argument or anything. Just the happiest people I've ever seen.
Yep, COVID regulations right out
like
that.
Yeah, it's been like that ever since. Every week I've lost my voice for longer and longer. I just got my voice back from last game, like the other day. So it's I walked into every bar I could after that game, and as soon as I walked in, I started yelling, "Hooray, baby! Super Bowl!" And the whole place just goes crazy. It was awesome. It was awesome. We partied till 9 in the morning. I couldn't talk for days.
We could kind of relate, man. One of the miseries, me and Sam were season ticket holders for the Washington Capitals for years. And, the Capitals have always missed that cup, man. And when finally Washington broke that back and got to the Stanley Cup and actually won the cup, man, we could see, Washington was just an absolute blast. It was, everybody loved each other, and, the big parade downtown DC and everything else, man. And I hope Cincinnati can experience that, man, this coming Sunday, man. I really do. I hope to see that, man.
I think everybody can agree that Cincinnati deserves that way more than Los Angeles deserves it.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Well, I have a feeling that like Los Angeles,
they get a home game too.
They got a home game.
But actually, the Rams don't play any home games, even when they're playing in Los Angeles.
Right.
The stadium was 45% 49ers fans for the championship game. It's Los Angeles. People, the NFL has not worked in Los Angeles as all the different iterations that it's been. And so here it is again, and you've got two Los Angeles teams, and still nobody honestly cares that much. If they win a championship, sure, great, we won a championship, but they'll be tuning a Lakers game in on Tuesday and barely caring about that.
Right. If they would have stayed in St. Louis, they would have been better off, probably.
Well, to me, again, I disrespect teams that try to buy their championships, right? Like Cincinnati is homegrown, it's drafted, it's they've made great moves, and again, they're playing the underdog. I don't care what anybody says, they're the underdog in this, obviously from the spread and everything else. But Los Angeles bought that team. They didn't draft their players. I mean, they're literally trading and giving away all their draft picks and all their farm to get to this point. And sometimes that wins, sometimes it doesn't. But to me, this has a Los Angeles Dodger feel, to the game, to where they're stacked of all these different players. And you've got basically the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, against the Dodgers. And sometimes, man, again, the underdog does win, man. Sometimes team is much more. The team itself, as it gels, is much more powerful than the individual talent itself.
Yeah,
that's
team chemistry.
That's what Eric was saying there earlier. I think.
A big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's that team that has come up together, that has fought together, that's been disrespected all season long together, versus a team that's we've got our eye on the future, we've got our eye on the prize, and Cincinnati's had to build it week by week, build those wins, and 10-7 was their record, I believe, Eric, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I mean, that is not an amazing record. They had some kind of down.
They did rest all their starters in that last game against the Browns.
Yeah. So it's not that this team is perfect, but they are playing together as one, and they have a common goal. They have a common enemy, which is everyone. Whereas the Rams are walking in like, hey, we're the best. We've got the two best defensive players. We've got one of the best quarterbacks of the last half dozen years. We've got a great receiving core. This just hand us the trophy right now.
Eric, talk about Evan McPherson, man. This kid drafted from Florida, 5th round draft pick. Everybody's kind of like, busted on the Bengals for drafting this kid in the 5th round. But, man, dude.
Nobody who's watched the Bengals over the last 20 years that's a Bengals fan was complaining about that pick.
Yeah,
I loved it. I've watched them lose way too many games for having field goal kickers that can't make a kick at the end, and ties and everything else because we can't make a field goal. So when we
just that one
drafted him,
I
was fine with
it. They
it.
were trying to trade field goals and they couldn't make any.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, man. I mean,
right.
he's not missed in the playoffs, which is amazing. And then when it comes right down to it, what was it? After it was the Titans game. I think it was like a 48-yarder. He, picks up his helmet and he goes, "Well, boys, it looks like we're going to the AFC Championship," and nails it. It was a 52-yarder.
That's the confidence you want your kicker to have. That's unreal.
100%.
Yeah, we've never had that.
Doesn't the kid?
That's the hardest jersey to get in Cincinnati right now is our kicker. If that tells you anything.
You see him lining up for a field goal. Doesn't he look like he's a linebacker ready to go take somebody's head off? It doesn't look like what a kicker should look like or act like what a kicker should look like. It seems like he'd be a ton of fun to get a few beers with.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll say this: when we played the Titans, I wasn't too worried because they had Fat Randy Bullock, who cooked for us for a while, and I was like, hey, if it comes down to a kick for them, we'll get another shot at least.
No kidding, man. All right, well, Eric, let's talk about your Super Bowl Sunday preparations, man. What are you doing? Where are you gonna be watching the game, and what's gonna happen, man?
Bone-in wings or boneless?
It's up in there. I was even looking at tickets before I realized they were $6,000 a piece, and then I decided I'd stay here in Cincinnati. I think it's gonna be a pretty fun city to be in, anyways, if we win it. So,
no doubt.
Yeah. I've watched all the games at my buddy's house. He's got a pretty cool Bengals man cave, so I might do that. If I do that, I'll probably end up down around the stadium and the banks at some point, celebrating with everybody. My dad's buddy runs the bar right across from the stadium, E&O, and he's gonna have a private table there for us. So
Oh,
there you
beautiful.
Probably go down and celebrate down
It's
there.
Hobie. Those who are fishermen, Hobie always has a tournament, Super Bowl weekends, usually at Seminole, and this is the first
Yeah.
year that I have not fished
Right.
Hobie during the Super Bowl. Especially at Seminole. Now it's at Toledo Bend this weekend,
Right.
man. But
Yeah. me
it's gonna
too.
be kind of weird watching the Super Bowl actually at home. Not at some.
So I was in that tournament, and AJ called me after he saw the Bengals go to the Super Bowl, and he goes, "So I guess you're not coming to Toledo." I was like, "Yep." He's like, "All right, I'll wear that one on down." I was like, "I won't be there."
Hey, Eric,
Right.
I got one more question for you. And I definitely hope we're going to have some time to talk Super Bowl snacks here before the show gets out. So it's Super Bowl Sunday. You're at your buddy's house. You're getting ready to watch the game. What is what's going to be served there, and what is the first thing that you're picking up and putting on your plate when it's time to eat?
Skyline dip, baby.
Okay, all right. I'll take that answer. Right. Yeah.
I make pretty good guacamole. I usually bring a bowl of that too.
Okay.
We do some chicken dip and
How about chili?
usually have some chicken wings. Yeah, a lot of Skyline chili.
Skyline chili, yeah.
Yeah, the Frito
it's,
pie
it's
and
Cincinnati
everything
thing. So you got, especially the Super Bowl, we're gonna have a lot of Skyline.
Eric, is there going to be a special trip? I mean, you have time to go up to Wisconsin, grab some spotted cow, bring it down.
Oh, so back the last time they were in the Super Bowl, there's a beer called Hootie beer, and they made special Bengals cans, and they actually made some special Bengals cans for this one they just released today. So I'm gonna try to get my hands on some of that stuff and drink that.
Eric, if you get your hands on some of those, you got to ship us one down here. It'll go right up here on the wall, buddy.
All right.
I'm not going to say I'm the world's biggest Bengals fan. When I was younger, one of the first Super Bowls I remember was the Bengals Niners, and I was like, man, yeah, Cincinnati's cool, because at that time I'm a Reds fan, so I didn't know a ton of football as a little kid as much as baseball. So yeah, Cincinnati. Right. So there's always been this soft spot in my heart for Cincinnati, and all of us but Drew are going to be cheering on the Bengals this weekend. 100% chance.
No,
oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
glad to hear that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bengals plus 170 on the money line, man. I mean, that's a disrespect. I mean, I think that's disrespectful, man. I mean, it's a good bet.
That's a good bet. I'm not taking the bet because I don't want to put any more pressure on the game. Yeah, it's already there. So, but if I wasn't a Bengals fan, I'd definitely be taking that bet.
I want to go over some real quick first-time score odds, man. Cooper Kupp plus 500, Cam Akers plus 750, and Joe Mixon plus 750. That's a great bet. Joe Mixon being first-time scorer.
Yeah.
Plus 750. Jamar Chase plus 800. That's unbelievable. Now, Jamar Chase is an even 100 to be an anytime scorer. Cooper Kupp is a minus 190. Man, I mean, they're basically
that's like a guarantee.
They're guaranteeing that Cooper Kupp's going to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah,
but the way our defense is played, especially in the playoffs, I'm not too worried about the Rams.
That Cincinnati defense has already handled some very, very good offenses,
right?
And this Rams, matches up pretty evenly with them. I wouldn't think the Cincinnati defense is going to be scared one bit facing off against the Rams.
Yeah, here's the deal.
They took care of Derrick Henry and AJ Brown, and they took care of Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and all those guys. And we've had some trouble with tight ends. So even that first game against Kansas City, I was kind of expecting Kelsey to shred us. But Mark Andrews got us and.
Cincinnati, Eric, played a very cool second half adjustment on their defense. They did an 8-man shell with a three-man rush, and they made Patrick Mahomes run outside, right? And they covered the field spectacularly. And then they would do some stunts and stuff like that, and maybe blitz, a corner or a weak side linebacker to really fluster Mahomes. And you could tell that Mahomes just couldn't have confidence in the way he was throwing the
Yeah,
ball.
it surprised me.
It was unbelievable.
I saw it when they came out. I was like, they're rushing 3.
Yeah,
Like, what?
they're rushing 3.
And it worked. Yeah.
It was like a prevent defense all second half,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
but it was brilliant. But now you've got a guy, Matt Stafford, who is not a running threat, right? And so you're going to have a more traditional style defense where you're going to have, I think the Bengals run a 3-4, right? They run a 3-4 defense with Reader as their center. Yeah, okay. So, but if that's the case, then you are going to be susceptible. You've got Cooper Kupp, you've got Jefferson, and you've got OBJ. I mean, you've got 3 wide receivers that you're going to probably have to run a nickel defense or a dime defense the entire game, right? You would think.
Yeah.
You're not worried about Cam Akers.
OBJ was a huge ad for them. He's going to be probably a pain to handle in this game, but I don't know. Cooper Kupp's an amazing route runner. I mean, it's not going to be an easy game, but the Rams have their hands full too, and I just think Cincinnati wants it more. This team wants it. The city wants it. I'd just be surprised if they don't bring it back here.
Yeah.
Todd just comes across. Todd's on your side, and Jeremy chimes in with a good evening.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I'm rooting for the Bengals. Again, like I said, it's good to see fresh blood in the Super Bowl, man. And I love this team. This team reminds me of so many different Super Bowl teams in the past. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the 49ers '89 team. Eric, we and you talked about that. Very similar characteristics of this team, man. It could very well do it. The same team that actually beat the Bengals. Last time Bengals were in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, this team's special, man, and they're young. So it's if they don't get it done this year, man, they're gonna be right there.
I think the Bengals resemble the '91 Redskins with the posse. That receiving core that they got is just unbelievable. 3 receivers over 800 yards with 5 touchdowns. You just don't see that anymore. So that Redskins '91, Gary Clark, Art Monk, and Ricky Sanders. So I mean, it's almost similar to what the Bengals have now. I mean, it's just a talented receiving core.
But I think Cincinnati's a younger team than what you're talking about. That '91 Redskins team was.
They're so young.
And the Redskins had Hogs.
You keep the
Burrow's 25, Mixon's 25, Higgins is 22, Jamar Chase is 21.
Remember that long period of NFC dominance in the Super Bowl, because that's where your Montana and Young and Aikman were all on the NFC side of the ball. I think we could start to see a flip of that, because to me, your best teams are in the AFC. Your best teams, your youngest teams, your teams with the brightest futures. I could see the AFC stringing 5, 6, 7 Super Bowls together in a row here.
I think it starts.
All the good young quarterbacks are in the AFC, really.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, you've got Mahomes, Herbert, Allen, Burrow,
Jones.
Jones. I mean,
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson's up there. I mean, it's gonna be silly.
And all the NFC
with how great a year Burrow's had running for his life. It's a scary thought that they're gonna, they got the 3rd most cap space in the league. They've got all that money to throw at their O-line. They're gonna be dangerous for a long time.
No doubt.
I think finally maybe Mike Brown and the family seeing the positivity of spending some money and going out and getting some of those bigger name draft picks and stuff. So or free agents and stuff. So
what clicked with the Brown family and all of a sudden make this change? I mean, this was been during the the 90s and the 2000s, man, and just to see time after time the Andy Daltons, the Carson Palmers, coming through.
They haven't won a playoff game since Mike Brown took over. Until this.
That's
year.
what I'm saying. So what all of a sudden said,
right.
Okay, now it's time to do
I
this.
think Mike. I think he just got too old, I think, and his daughter's starting to take over more, and I think she's grown up in it. She gets it a little more, and she's.
Is there a new management team team president, general manager, or are they fairly new with the team, or have they been around for a little while?
Mike Brown's never hired a GM, so
Okay, all right.
that's been part of the problem. Also, you
And they
know,
were content with
So-
Marvin Jones for however many years, like 15 years or whatever.
Marvin Lewis, 16 years.
Marvin
Yeah,
Lewis. Yeah, they were just
without a
content with
playoff win. Nobody keeps their job for 16 years without a playoff win in the NFL.
It's crazy.
I've got a shirt. It says "Fire Marvin" with his headset on it. It says "Fire" on the top of the headset, Marvin on the.
By the way, man, Icky Woods, he's got to be 325 pounds, dude.
He's a big boy. Actually, when I was in the stadium, I took a picture. There's this huge sign of Icky Woods, and it says "Shuffle right, shuffle left, spike the ball, and swing your finger in the air," or something like that. Icky shuffle. That was a big picture.
That goes back in
Pretty
that
cool.
goes back in the day, man. I mean, that was so much fun to watch,
Yeah.
man. Icky Woods was. I mean, he was so much fun. He brought a lot of character. But he looks like the refrigerator Perry right now, man. So he needs to, he needs to chill a little bit, man. But oh my god,
He looks like me after a off season of not fishing.
that's right. That's it, man. That's it. Well, okay. So what you said that Bengals are going to win? What's your score, man? You think it's go over 48.5? You think it's going to be 27-24 or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. 27-24, I was thinking. The same score as the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
Works for me.
One of the Super Bowl props guys I was looking at, and I think it's just absolutely so juicy, man. And I wouldn't put it past either team for this to happen. Is a non-quarterback touchdown throw. It's plus 1,400. Can't you see like OBJ throwing a touchdown pass? Like some kind of trick play that they're going to wind up doing.
The Super Bowl seems like it's always been to me the home of a trick play.
Philly special. I mean, it's something always.
It's plus 1,400, man. I mean, that's juicy. I mean, Tyler Higgins T. Higgins has thrown a touchdown pass this year, I think.
I mean, those are the kind of bets that I think this trick play things and what's someone scoring a safety. Those you get some
the 49ers,
long odds on that.
The prop bets.
The odds wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, here's another good bet. It says both teams to score plus 25 points, right? So that means the over is going to hit at 50. Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford both throw for 250 yards each.
Yeah, I think so. We're in a passing league. It's going to happen. If you're going over, then I'd definitely take that one. That both going over 250.
Yeah. All right. Todd wants to know who our MVP picks are. Eric, let's start with you, man. Who's your MVP pick?
Joe Burrow.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna be Rodgers again this year. As much as I hate him, I can't stand him.
Dude, Super Bowl MVP, you idiot.
Oh, Super Bowl MVP. Oh. I was like, it's Super Bowl MVP. I mean, it's always going to go to a quarterback. So whoever wins the game, it's either going to be Stafford or Burrow. So I'm probably the only one that's picking the Rams to win. So it's probably going to be Stafford.
I'm putting all of my rooting interests behind Cincinnati, and I can't come up with who I think is going to win this game yet. So Drew, I like your nugget there on the quarterback. It's very, 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 very common. I'm going to go off board without 100% certainty that the Rams will win it, but I'm going to say Cooper Kupp. Let's go. I'm going to be an oddball.
Well, look at it like this. Cooper Kupp, like during the 49er game, had like 200 yards receiving, it was against Tampa Bay. He's like 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. and he still wouldn't have been MVP. It would have been Matt Stafford. So I mean, Cooper Kupp is going to have to do something spectacular to take that. I think it's going to be Joe Burrow. Here's one I can see happening, guys, and this might be a long shot, but if this winds up becoming a defensive game, okay, I can see Patrick Ramsey doing a pick six and getting a pick six to win the game, and that will become a Super Bowl MVP performance. So Patrick Ramsey could steal the MVP vote if it becomes a defensive game.
And also, I mean, for the Cincinnati side, McPherson, if it comes down to a last drive game-winning field goal, why not a kicker? I mean, I think Vinatieri's got like 2 of them now, doesn't he? So, I mean, if it comes down to a, last second field goal to win it, that could be a McPherson thing, especially if they come up beating the Rams.
Yeah.
But generally it's going to go to a quarterback, the winning quarterback. So
Clifton Allen's right. Yeah, Aaron Donald is absolutely going to eat up that O-line.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. That could be some MVP votes for Donald there.
Well, that's why I think, but okay, so that's what I'm saying. If it becomes a defensive game, the Rams defense could become overpowering. Aaron Donald and Von Miller could get a lot of pressure, which will open the door for Ramsey to pick off these, the picks, man. So again, I mean, who knows, dude? I think the matchup I think of the game is going to be Jamar Chase versus Patrick Ramsey. I can't wait to watch that, man. This is going to be
I can't wait to see that.
Spectacular. And I hope Joe Burrow does
Jamar Chase burn Jalen Ramsey.
I hope Joe Burrow does not shy away from that matchup. I hope they test him.
He hasn't shied away from it at all. So he's going to put it up for Jamar Chase. He's going to get the ball.
Do you think? Okay, Bengals win the toss. They get the ball in the 25. First play of the game. Do you think that he takes a shot downfield? First play of the game.
No one follows me.
Yep, I would.
I wouldn't. I mean, this is one of those games you got to feel it out.
I'd say blow it wide open.
Don't feel it. Don't feel it out. Take charge. Take command.
The first 2 drives are going to be 3 and out for both teams. They're going to run it conservative. They're going to feel each other out. Then,
nah, man.
They've got Jalen Ramsey. We got too much talent at wide receiver. It's not going to matter. I don't think. I mean, he can't cover everybody.
You don't want it
And Burrow's used to
start airing
throwing
it
under
out and
pressure.
they throw a pick six on the first play, that game is going to be over.
You throw 40 yards downfield. They're not bringing that back. It's just you just count that up as a punt as it gets intercepted. But I'm saying take charge of the game. If you go 3 and out and put Stafford with that receiving core out on the field, and you could be down 7-0 in a hurry. So I say take charge, take command of the game. Cincinnati did it against Alabama. They thought they were going to play just regular old football against Alabama, and I said that Cincinnati needed to air the ball out time after time after time after time, but they refused to do it.
Uzomah will play in the Super Bowl, guys. So according to Todd, we kind of knew that was going to happen. But that opens up the middle of the field.
The Bengals are down 21-3 to the Chiefs. So I'm not too worried about them going down. This team has heart. They're never going to be down too much to be able to come back. And when the Chiefs screwed up and didn't take those points there at the end of the half, I was like, we're good. We were down 11.5 the last time we played them. This is nothing. Like, we got this.
There.
Yes. Yeah.
So the Rams, I think their weak link is their safety. They've got Waddle as their safety. I mean, he plays the run okay, but dude, you leave that field wide open like an Uzomah, or if you have Jace that burns out Ramsey and takes the post, dude, he smokes that backfield. I mean,
if he has time to throw it for the receiver to get out that far.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If he does have time, but. Expect a lot of quick crossing routes and all that stuff. It's going to be so cool, man. It's going to be so cool to watch this game. It's going to be a chess match, man.
Good, yeah.
But I'll tell you this, man. Just like we've seen, Sean McVay throws up in big games. He throws up, and he was outcoached in the Super Bowl last time they went. When it comes to bigger games, he almost lost the 49ers game, guys. He almost lost the game before that too, and gave it up too. So. I expect the Cincinnati team to be very aggressive, and I think they're going to throw curveballs at the Rams. Man, it's gonna be fun. It's really gonna be cool. Let's get our picks in, guys. Drew, what's your score, man?
I got the same score, but the other way. I got 27-24 Rams. Matt Gay, 40-plus yard field goal to win it.
So you think Rams win, but do not cover? Okay,
they do not cover. It's going to be a close game.
Matt Gay is going to live up to his name and shank that field goal.
Double doink. I hear you, man. Sam, what do you got, man?
I'm trying to run some math in my head here. I'm going to go 30-28 walk-off field goal. Cincinnati taking it and beating the Rams.
Guys, I'm gonna be surprised. You guys are picking close games. I think Momo's big, man. I really do, and I see the Bengals winning. Like, I think they're gonna win like 30-20. I think it's gonna be a 10-point game, guys. I see the Bengals blowing this out a little bit, man. I really do. I think I think the Rams get like a last minute field goal or touchdown to kind of
backdoor
get
score.
It close. Backdoor score, but I see it being 50. I see it going over, but I see it like 30-20.
That is a good thought. Everybody likes to pick these close scores because you want the Super Bowl to be a good game. But Greg, remember, most of the Super Bowl era, Super Bowl games are not close games. They are not good games. Most of them are blowouts.
That's right.
But
the Bengals haven't been in one in a while. The Bengals never make it easy.
Well, and the NFL is turning to the WWE, so don't be surprised if this game goes into overtime with field goal.
There's a lot of shady crap going on. There's no doubt. But here's the deal: we talk about the Rams and their ability or having a home field advantage, but guys, this is like corporate crowd, right? This is not really like you're screaming, Cincinnati Bengal fans. This is a corporate crowd. So, and then the place is so huge, it's going to be muted. There's only so many tickets that the Bengals fans got.
It looked like a crazy weird stadium. Is there like 6 levels to the seating in that or something? It just it looks nice from the outside. It even looks nice from the inside. But yeah, this is not a the Rams will have no home field advantage in this game just because they're playing it in their building.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Eric, man, we're gonna let you go, dude. Thanks for coming on, dude. Talking about the Bengals, man. Good luck, dude. We're rooting for
Go Bengals.
For you. Go Bengals.
I'm ready to talk about the Bengals anytime.
All right, man.
Who day, baby?
Who day, baby?
Who day thinking to beat them Bengals?
Who day?
Nobody. Not the Rams. Let's go. I'm ready.
After they win, we're gonna be talking about it on Monday night. You need to come back on with us, man.
All right, if I could talk on Monday night.
No, we want you to gradually throw it and all.
Yeah, we want you throwing up on there and everything.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
Then you can call me like later that night.
All right, dude. We'll see.
Eric, it was great catching up with you again, man. Go Bengals.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Go Bengals. See you guys later.
Oh, that's a treat, man.
Oh man, you brought up 2018 when the Capitals were in the Stanley Cup Finals there, and just the way that this city all came together and that everybody was your friend. The year of the George Mason went to the Final Four. It was.
I was there. I was in Indianapolis.
That was another time when your whole city can rally around something like that. It's awesome. And in your blue collar towns like Cincinnati, like I said, Cincinnati respects it and deserves it 1 billion times more than Los Angeles does. No one will care come Tuesday morning in Los Angeles if the Rams win.
You're right. You're exactly right.
In Cincinnati, they will party until week 1 of next season.
There will be absolutely no work done. Yeah, there'll be no work done in Cincinnati. Zero come Monday, which is fine. And by the way, if and when I ever become president of this great country, I will make sure that there's a national holiday the day after the Super Bowl every year. You've
How
got
are
to have a day of recovery.
we're right.
Or
You've got
move
every
President's Day. Move President's Day.
no. You don't have to move presidents. The NFL players want a second bye week. You add a second bye week. We bump the season back one more week, and there you go. It's President's. It's President's Day the day after.
Beautiful. I like it.
Right.
I like it. Yeah. All right. So let's get into this debacle, Sam, about this. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on this because NASCAR is. I mean, look, there's mixed reactions. People are like, "Oh, this was great, short track racing, a lot of bumping and grinding." They were going 60 miles an hour in this was a track for track and field racers.
It was
the LA Coliseum. It was bad.
It was a bull ring. You had just. I mean, they were all nose to tail around the entire track. That is not fun to watch. It's not fun racing. You only had two lines, and I watched it and I'm like, this just isn't fun. And when I was reading some about it today, the drivers loved it. They're saying that the people loved it, and NASCAR loved it, and I was like, and drivers want to take this on the road and do this in more football stadiums. What is wrong with today's NASCAR drivers? What would Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt and Cale Yarborough and Davey Allison think? Or if they did, they would be beating the crap out of each other in that little bull ring.
I was talking to my buddy of mine. Like, if you want to do that, why don't you resurrect these old tracks that the sport was grown on, like North Wilkesboro or something like that, in the tobacco fields of North Carolina. Let the sport come alive back in these tracks that have been there since day one.
Greg, this NASCAR is not for me and you, guys who grew up watching NASCAR. And trust me, there are plenty of NASCAR fans who have been fans, for forever, that tune in every single Sunday, and it's their thing. And they're just they just root their driver, or they're rooting for their manufacturer. But this race was in Los Angeles for a reason. NASCAR doesn't like the ties that they have with the old moonshiners and the racing on the dirt in Daytona, in the tobacco fields of Carolina, North Wilkesboro, and places like that. They don't want that. They want the corporateness. They want to go to where the money is, Los Angeles. Every driver wants to be a Hollywood star. They don't want to climb out of the car and then go work their farm like Dale Earnhardt did. They want to climb out of the car and go spend the next 4 days on Twitter.
Do you think this is a calculated ordeal to where they're trying to get on the coattails of the NFL, being in Los Angeles, creating that Super Bowl week before Super Bowl atmosphere, having the Busch Clash of all things there, and then coming back the week after the Super Bowl, and then you have your Daytona 500. I know it's their biggest time of the season, but I think they're trying to I think they're stepping on Superman's cape. You know what I mean? And they're trying to basically pick at the giant, and that's the NFL, man. I think that's what it was about.
I think there's something that could be said about that. Compare that to the other event that went on this weekend. Did you know that that this weekend was the NHL All-Star Weekend, an NHL skills competition?
Yeah.
Okay,
I did.
It kind of took me by surprise that the skills competition happened on Friday night, and then the All-Star game was Saturday afternoon. They knew that they were that the NFL was playing their Pro Bowl on Sunday, and
by
NASCAR
the way, was a joke. That was a joke.
I don't even know what happened, and
it was
the Pro Bowls are not at all entertaining to me. But the NHL knows what they are. We can't compete with what's going to go on Sunday. We've tried this All-Star thing on Sunday before. It doesn't work. We can't do that. So we're going to do something different. We're going to do it on Saturday afternoon, late Saturday afternoon, and it was fine. It was what NASCAR or the NHL knows who they are, and they have decided to stay in their lane. NASCAR doesn't know who they are, and they want to be in every lane. NASCAR is a Southern-born, Southern-bred sport, and that's where its heart is. And NASCAR is leaving those fans behind. They want fans in New York, Chicago, Indianapolis, LA, Seattle. They care more about those people than they do the people in Talladega and Darlington.
Well, and you're seeing it from obviously ratings and then the stands that it's not being supported. So, I mean, they're going to have to do something else. I mean, I like the new car that came out. I really do. I think that it's more of a body style of a stock car, and the manufacturers look, the fenders and the noses look like the cars themselves, which is finally, they get it. But I just think NASCAR is making a huge mistake. They've been making a huge mistake ever since really Dale Earnhardt passed away. They've been trying to play catch up, and
Yep.
they've lost their identity, man. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm done talking about it. It was terrible. I thought it was horrible. Never do that again. They will.
They
Just,
will. They want to. And do you know why this happened? Do you know whose brainchild this was?
I have no idea.
I want to say the name was Ben Kennedy. I was reading it today. He's the 30-year-old son of the NASCAR president, and this is his idea. He's like in charge of scheduling. This is his idea. So this is further proof we shouldn't let millennials handle anything.
I agree, 100%. Exactly. All right, let's get to the last thing, Sam. We got to get out of here. The NFL draft. Some draft boards are coming out, man, and I had looked at an article that you had sent me, and I thought it was well done, man. But Tom McShay and the likeness of all the draft gurus, man. I have Mel. I'm losing my
Kuiper?
mind. Yeah, Mel Kiper and all these other guys, these draft gurus. I saw that the Jaguars obviously number one, and then I think Detroit's number two, right? Jaguars, Detroit, yes.
I'm
yeah.
pulling up. Yeah, I'm pulling up here. Yeah, I've got Jaguars and then Detroit. Yep.
Yeah, but I found it pretty interesting that the Jaguars that they're going to have is Evan Neal out of the offensive tackle out of Alabama will be drafted number one. I don't see that happening, dude. I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily is he worthy of a number one pick? You got to protect. You have to protect your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, right? I don't see them taking an offensive tackle number one. Do you?
You do. You want to protect. If you want to protect Trevor Lawrence, and you're going to need an offensive line for him. So you have to. That's where you have to go.
I see them trading down, though. I mean, Evan Neal is not the number one.
That's the thing when we're reading these mock drafts is they're not going to factor in trades. If I was Jacksonville, I would absolutely be looking to deal that number one pick. Get me two picks in the first round, and you'll do just fine.
But no one's going to come up to number one. I mean, there's nobody I could see, even Thibodeau or Hutchinson from Michigan. I can't see anybody being that number one draft pick that's a standout this year. The quarterbacks, man, you can pick 6 or 7 different quarterbacks, and they're all kind of the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think the quarterback doesn't get picked till like 8 or 10. I think we have first quarterback we have off the board, man. It was Malik Willis from Liberty University going to the Carolina Panthers. But the rest is going to be just offensive, defensive linemen.
Yeah, I was as I'm looking back through that article, that was not Mel Kiper's board. I forgot who it was, and he was just basing it on post Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl play. And so I was like, well, let me see what happened there. I want to see, how did Willis move himself up to number 6? He was 2 for 4 for 11 yards and ran for another 54. Well, Pickett threw for 90 yards and a touchdown. If I'm at number, they had him in number 6 to Carolina. Willis is a project.
He's not the best quarterback on the board. I'm sorry.
He's not the best quarterback on the board. I don't even think he's really first round talent, but I think there's an upside to him if you get him in the right spot, with the right coach, with the right system built around him, where he can learn the NFL and learn what mistakes to not make. Like if he comes to Washington, he will learn all the mistakes to make, but then no one will tell him to not make those mistakes again. And he's out in Washington in 2 years.
You got a lot of teams that are picking. They're picking twice in the first 15 picks. Man, you got the Giants. You've got the Dolphins. You've got the Jets. I mean, there's and the Eagles. I think they all have like 2 picks. I mean, coming up, man. So they're going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Is I mean, they could also use some of those picks to trade for players and things like that, man. But I think what's going to affect the draft too is what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers is going to be obviously he's going to demand a first-round draft pick. You know, is he? I'm hearing rumors that he bought a house in Tennessee in Nashville.
That's starting to get a little more buzz. Rodgers to Tennessee.
Yeah. So I mean, if he goes to Nashville, which I mean that would be interesting. Obviously, Pittsburgh's in the conversation. Denver's in the conversation. Denver just hired the offensive coordinators from the Green Bay Packers.
You've got Garoppolo that he's got to go somewhere too. So I think so. A lot of teams with your quarterback needs can find them on the trade free agent route with someone, a proven commodity, proven quarterback that you might not see. I mean, I'm looking, two drafts I've looked at, and they're both showing 2 or 3 quarterbacks going in the first round. I actually found Mel Kiper's. Where do you think he has Malik Willis going? He still has Malik Willis as the first quarterback off the board. Mel Kiper, the draft guru, the draft expert, is saying Malik Willis is your QB1, the number 1 quarterback coming off the draft board this year.
Going to where? Washington?
Yes, he has them going to Washington.
Yeah,
poor kid. I love Malik Willis. I just do not want him in Washington. I don't want him to be ruined.
They'll ruin him. They'll ruin him.
He absolutely will be.
Yeah. So, but here's another, like you're talking about, man. Like there is going to be veteran quarterbacks moving all around this league this year. Russell Wilson's not obviously safe in Seattle. I mean, like Garoppolo's going to be leaving, and it's just going to be round robin quarterback. Now, is Fitzpatrick still signed with Washington this year?
I
think it was a 2-year contract, right?
I thought it was a multi-year deal. So he is still in Washington, but it doesn't sound like that injury is playing very well for him to make much of a return for next season.
Yeah. So I mean, Sam, I think this draft is going to be defense heavy. There's no quarterbacks out there. It's just, I mean, you're always going to get pre-draft quarterback buzz. Happens all the time, right? But then you've got like Kirk Cousins being talked about being traded to the Browns in exchange for Baker Mayfield. Which is going to be crazy. But I mean, there's going to be a quarterback round robin. But I'll be honest with you, with Tom Brady leaving, there's a lot of quarterback needs in the NFL, man. And I just don't see...
in Pittsburgh. That's another one, and any of the 3 top quarterbacks, Coral, Pickett, Willis, any of those 3 go to Pittsburgh, I think they're going to have a good career.
I think if Willis goes to Pittsburgh,
if Willis goes to Pittsburgh, I really like what he could become. Whoever goes to play quarterback under Mike Tomlin is going into a winning tradition with a knowledgeable coach and a knowledgeable staff.
Yeah, I agree. I think he goes. I think it's going to be good, man. And as I said, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But we'll have a little bit more of that to come. Now and
all right, man.
We are out of here.
I got to ask you too, though. So I asked Eric, what is Super Bowl snacks looking like in the Nozar house this year?
Dude, so, okay, number 1 for me is a sausage and cheese dip where it's sausage, Velveeta cheese, and salsa in a crock pot. You put it all together with some cream, and it is fabulous. You put those over nachos. You got to have those, man. That
that made me think of pizza dip. Have you ever heard of a pizza dip?
I have heard of pizza dip. It's very similar to that, but you just put sausage in there.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a buffalo chicken dip with that as well.
Yeah. I've only done a buffalo chicken dip for a couple of years, and I'm still working on it. I like it, but I'm not happy with where mine is right now.
Yeah, and then I would say you have to have some meatballs, man. I'm a big meatball guy. Again, something that you
With
pick
you.
up with a toothpick.
Yep.
So it's just stuff like that, man. And then some sliders. Oh, dude, I have a slider recipe that'll just blow your mind, man.
Ooh, I'm gonna
Um,
have to get that. I'm gonna have to get that. So,
yeah, man, you got to take Hawaiian bread, right? You
yes.
got to take Hawaiian bread, cut it in half, put your ham and your cheese, and you bake it. You put some butter on that slider, put
Okay.
rolls,
All right.
put it
All
in
right.
the
All right.
oven, and then you put everything bagel seasoning on top, and you
Okay.
bake it.
All right. All
You know what I
right.
mean? And
That's
and
that's
that's your sliders. Yeah.
that sounded pretty darn good. So, where are you on wings? Do you cook wings? Do you buy wings? Do you like wings?
Okay, here's the deal, man. In bone wings. By the way, I think they're now like $100 a case. Thank you, inflation. But yeah, wings are just but expensive. But in bone wings, dude, like we used to do at Domino's,
Mhm.
right? But you put them in the air fryer, dude, and you coat them with a little olive oil spray.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Not seasoned. Put them in the air fryer, flip them halfway through, shake them up a little bit, and then throw them in your favorite sauce. And dude, the best wings you'll ever have.
Wow. Wow. That's good. It's been a long tradition. I think some of the best wings and probably the most overlooked wing of any restaurant is Foster's Grill Southwest Wings.
Okay.
They make some big. They'll get you some big fat wings, and they're pretty good. Also, if you want to go to Lido, Lido does hot honey wings. It's a pretty darn good wing too.
Ooh.
Yes, pretty darn good. So Foster's wings are definitely on our menu. And a buffalo chicken dip, spinach artichoke dip, sausage balls.
Yes.
We,
Oh man, underrated.
we make a sausage balls. Um,
Underrated.
yeah. Bacon wrapped little smokies.
Oh, man.
That's if you take a bacon wrapped little smoky and dip it into buffalo chicken dip, and you're in heaven. And then nachos. Let me give everybody the real quick nacho. Greg, you
But
have
before you get into that, you've got to have bacon wrapped jalapenos with stuffed cream cheese.
oh yes, those are some big boys there too. So Greg, you have had my nachos.
Yes.
And I can make it. I can make a pretty good nacho. My nacho recipe has evolved over time. So here it is, real quick. You take your ground beef, you brown your ground beef, you add your taco seasoning per directions. As you get to that point, you take you a couple big old spoonfuls of salsa. You throw that in there and you let that mix. Cook down there a little bit together. Then you take the Tostitos scoops and you line those up on a cookie sheet. Put a little bit of the meat in each one. You cover it then with the cheese. Top or pop in the oven. Top with a jalapeno, and you've got they're not messy. It's a one bite nacho. Fits
Love
on a
it.
plate. They're and the flavor is amazing.
The holy grail of nachos I've ever seen in my life is Margaritaville, the volcano nachos. 100% the best nachos in the world, man. It is only first, very, very minute ahead of the old Pargos nachos that we used to have.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Margos is a very local and very old timer thing. So yeah, we're pretty good. We're big on we're big on the dips, and we're big and sausage balls are our thing, and my go-to wings is the Foster's Southwest. Little sweet, little spicy. You're not gonna kill yourself with some of these insane heat levels that places like to make on their wings. Now I'm not down for it. I want flavor, and that's what Foster's has given me.
Right.
So
100%, man.
yeah. All right, man. Well, we
guys,
talked about it, and
we're
I'm
right
going to
here.
eat a lot this weekend. I can guarantee you that.
Beautiful, man. Me too, dude. Well, we'll come back after the Super Bowl, dude, and see what happens.
We'll wrap it all up. So, all right, Greg.
All right, guys. Thanks for
Great
joining
again
us
with you,
tonight, man. All right, dude. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
And this guy.